The start will be really important. So I have the number one, so I will be in the first lane. So it's really important. It's important to pass the two first turns in good position and to arrive in the first door-in in the top 10 to be sure to have an opportunity to win.
And Hermida powering up the hill with Absalon. Oh, Absalon looking like he's struggling a little bit on that section. Didn't lose Hermida very much. He's got him in his sights. He's real close still. Burry Stander looking much stronger now as the climbs head into the steeper sections. So we're back at Lucas Flukinger, also riding for Trek World Racing. And Flukinger has jumped up and caught up with his brother Matthias. So Lucas is in 10th, Matthias now in 11th. So the two of them are there giving each other some brotherly support. And that is rider number 22 just jumping up into the mix there. Roel Paulison for the Cannondale Factory Racing Team. All right, here we see Jose Antonio Hermida and Julien Absalon. The Spanish rider, number 3 on his bib, is currently holding down the lead. Julien Absalon has dropped back a little bit. Looks like he might be struggling with the temperature here. Right now, it is Hermida out in front and holding down a good lead, actually. He's opening it up. Absalon from France, the number 1 rider, the dominant rider from last year. He is back a little bit, and the spacing between the three of them has opened up a little bit with Burry Stander. That man right there, the South African, the local hero for a lot of people, holding down a 3rd position, and he's been holding that position strong for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, well, we've done quite a bit of racing. I've done the local South African series. I've already done the Epic as well, which was 2 weeks ago, and then the test event last weekend. And the results are pretty good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it and feeling pretty confident.
There you see Christoph Sauser and Nino Schurter holding down positions 4 and 5. Christoph Sauser holding off Nino Schurter for the most part here. Nino Schurter did cross the finish line at the beginning of lap number 4. And here comes Jose Antonio Hermida. He crosses the line after an elapsed time of 1:22.05. And here comes the split clock. And Absalon now is pushing it a little bit, trying to catch up. He is 11 seconds back of 10 seconds back, of Hermida, and Burry Stander 14 seconds back, only 4 seconds back of Absalon. Burry Stander, Hermida is out in the lead with a 10-second bounce on Absalon, who is struggling a little bit in the heat. Christoph Sauser and Nino Schurter here bringing up positions 4 and 5, and they're pushing each other, and they've been basically together the entire time. We might see Nino Schurter try and sprint past Sauser to take a better position and get a couple more points. All right, back with some live pictures here coming down that technical section, and it is Jose Antonio Hermida with a good lead right now and still holding on to that lead. The temperature, I guess, has affected him a little bit more than he expected it to. Absalon now a good 10 seconds back from Hermida, and Burry Stander holding tight onto Absalon, not allowing him to get away, only about 4 or 5 seconds back from Absalon. And here comes Hermida into the parallel road. Julien Absalon, here he comes, takes a quick look back to see if there's anybody with him. He notices that Burry Stander is still there. Burry Stander not far back from Julien Absalon, and Burry Stander, he is looking very strong now, gets out of the pedals to try and sprint and do a little bit of catching up. He knows that if he can catch up to Christoph Sauser and maybe keep on his tail, he might have a chance for a sprint at the end to take a 2nd place position on the podium. But Jose Antonio Hermida, solid, looking very strong here, easy up the hill, and he has got this lead in hand easily right now. He is holding on to it, and he is pushing away from the 2nd and 3rd place riders, Absalon and Stander. Burry Stander, something's happened back there. I don't know what, but Burry Stander is well off pace right now. He has dropped well back from Absalon. There he is. Okay, no technical problems.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough every year. I think last year with the Olympics, it was really tough. And, Absalon was just the stronger rider all year long. And, obviously this year everyone's come back to try and give it a go. But, we'll just have to see how it goes and take it race by race. There's a lot of guys who want to win the title, so yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, well, so far it's been great. The guys are really professional crew, a great bunch of guys to work with, and the product that we're riding this year is incredible. The bikes, riding dual suspension this year, really light dual suspension. I think it's going to be just a good thing, and especially on the first course this year. It's quite a hard pack course, but it's very bumpy, and I can already feel that we can ride maybe a little bit lighter tyres, seeing as we've got the suspension. So yeah, it's definitely a positive.
All right, here we go. We're looking at Jose Hermida, the leader of this race, and he is about to lap a couple of riders here. Rules of engagement: as the lead riders come towards the back of the pack, the other riders have to allow a lap to go. Just a quick word. At this point in time, Jose Hermida, concentrated, relaxed, keeping the pace, pumping the legs hard, and he is holding his own out in front against a very, very strong Julien Absalon, last year's overall title winner and champion. And there we go, there's Julien Absalon, and he has fallen well back from Hermida.
I'm really happy, really exciting to do this first World Cup. It's the first time in South Africa, so it's more exciting. I like this track, it's really fast, really dry for the moment. And it will be really hard because we don't have a lot of recovery on this track. So the best will win for sure.
All right, here comes Hermida. And we heard the bell ring in the background there, crossing the finish line, 1:38.34. And this is the last lap for Hermida. Let's see what the distance is between him and Absalon at this point. Oh, he's opened up a distance of more than 10 seconds now on the lap number 5, or on lap number 6's beginning, it was a 10-second distance, and now he's got a solid 20 seconds. Let's see, it's going to jump up even more. There's no sign. Oh, here he comes, Julien Absalon. He's a good 30 seconds back from Hermida. That's going to be tough to catch with the level of riding here. Here comes Burry Stander, and the people in the finish area are absolutely going nuts. The last lap for their local guy, Burry Stander. He's got a grin on his face. He knows he's had a good race here with one more lap to go. He's got the leaders relatively in sight, but he's got a third place lockdown right now. Hopefully he can stay on top of his wheels, rubber side down. Hopefully the wheels stay solid. Hopefully nothing technical happens, and hopefully he will cross that line at the very worst in third place for this event, and he can be proud of that. And the locals will be absolutely freaking out when he comes across that line with a podium placing. There you're looking at your leader, Jose Hermida Ramos, riding for Multivan Merida biking team, and they can be proud of how he's done here so far. And here you can see Julien Absalon coming around the corner here, not struggling as much on the uphill as he did before. He's on the pedals, he's pushing as hard as he can, but it seems like he's not where he should be at this point. And oh boy, Burry Stander has got a good gap closure there to Absalon. Burry Stander, the South Coast Fever Go Burry Go sign clearly in view there for him, so he knows he's got lots of support, and that support here will be a big boost for him. And there he is again in that very technical section, navigating it perfectly, sucking up the bridge and coming around the corner. How far back? Oh, very, very close is Burry Stander. Only a few seconds back now. He was about, 12 seconds back before. I would say he's about 8-9 seconds back now. There he is coming into the parallel road. And he'll go through the water feed and technical section to get a quick drink. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. At this point, I think he's probably going to want to just concentrate on getting into that climb and maintaining his climb and keeping it solid. Yeah, there he goes. And we go back down to the parallel road as Julien Absalon passes through, and Burry Stander close behind him. Yes, definitely only about 8-9 seconds back now. So Burry Stander, and you can hear the audience in the background here absolutely freaking out. They're loving the fact that Burry Stander is in the top 3 against some of the best riders in the world, and he can definitely count himself among those riders with the performance that he's put on today. South Africa, every single ounce of energy behind Burry Stander right now, and they are pushing him along. Very well done, Burry Stander. He should be proud of the action he's put down today. And he's trying his best to catch up to Julien Absalon. Julien Absalon, an absolutely fantastic rider, so strong. This is Burry's course, though. He knows it very well from the South African Championships. Who is going to come across that finish line in first place? And there we see Christoph Sauser right behind him, Nino Schurter, and it was Kurschat that jumped in there and managed to catch up with those guys. So we've got a small group of 3 in back there for 4, 5, and 6 positions. So here we see Jose Antonio Hermida coming to the top of the climb here, and you saw earlier there were quite a few riders still ahead. He's lapped a couple of riders already, and he may still lap some more riders. Oh, and look what's happening here. Absalon has absolutely turned on the power. He's closing that gap, and it could be that Absalon will catch up to Hermida. It's interesting now. It's getting very interesting. Absalon was playing possum, that punk. He started to close the gap on Jose Antonio Hermida. Julien Absalon, Burry Standers right there, and this could be a very close finish between these 3 riders. Burry Stander not giving up an inch on Absalon. He's pushing hard. Absalon absolutely pounding, gritting his teeth and turning those pedals as hard as he can. There's Burry Stander sitting back there. Number 5 plate on his bike from South Africa. Burry Stander getting up out of the pedals now, trying to catch up to Absalon. Absalon absolutely working hard to catch up to Hermida. Hermida out in the lead of the pack still, and we've got some catching up going on in the background there. It looks like Nino Schurter and Christoph Sauser have pulled each other along, and they've brought along Kurschat with them, the German rider, and these guys are all catching up to the lead pack now. Jose Antonio Hermida holding on to a good lead. Nevertheless, we've got some battles going on here. It's going to get interesting towards the finish line. We've still got some time left in this race, but boy, oh boy, did that ever happen quick, so that we've got a tight 6 or 7 pack group up in the lead. Here comes Julien Absalon right there. So Julien Absalon still well back from Jose Antonio Hermida. He's pushing hard, but Hermida has opened up that lead once again and has managed to keep the space well between them. And Jose Antonio Hermida victorious after 1 hour 55:03. Nicely done. A good race by Jose Antonio Hermida, your winner here in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, and the opening event for the 2009 Nissan UCI Mountain Bike World Cup, and he couldn't be happier. What a way to start the season. And here comes the next rider, Julien Absalon, getting praise and applause from the local area here. Absolutely a fantastic race. Fell off pace a little bit towards the end. He can be happy with a 2nd place for this event. He'll still get good points, but here comes the man of the hour, Burry Stander. Absolutely explosive applause from the audience on the sidelines. 3rd place for the South African, and he has to be stoked. You know, everybody here is super stoked for Burry Stander, and a big congratulations should go out to him. A fantastic race for keeping in tight with Julien Absalon, one of the most dominant riders in the world as far as cross country is concerned, and Jose Antonio Hermida. Here comes Christoph Sauser in 4th place and Nino Schurter in 5th place. A great race for those 2 guys as well.
Sauser, so a very successful day for the Specialized Racing team.
Alright, let's not forget right next to me, he will be in the 2nd place, South African. He has raced out of his boots today, and what can only be determined as the best world-class field assembled. It is a phenomenal field of riders. Everyone is dominating all positions here today. There is no one missing, and he's going to have a great result here. 2nd South African across the line, Rodney will be waiting for it now.
From Spain, Ruben Rosafa coming through now. Well done to you, Ruben. And number 79, he's got a huge fan on the side. That is Carlos Camolo from Spain and MSC.
The first leg of the NISSAN UCI Mountain Bike World Cup Cross Country, presented by Shimano, sponsored by DCM Chrome, has been won by a Spaniard. It is Jose Hermida, and well done to the Multivan Merida team. We'll now hand over the jersey to him, and once the jersey goes on, we will hear the Spanish national anthem. All right, everybody, let's hear it for Jose Hermida from Spain, Julien Absalon from France, Burry Stander, South Africa, Christoph Sauser from Switzerland, and Wolfram Kurschat from Germany, the champions in the first leg of the NISSAN UCI Mountain Bike World Cup Cross Country, presented by Shimano. and sponsored by DCM Chrome. What a great result for these champions today. Well done, chaps. Congratulations.